Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Marissa Explains It All. Today I am doing a review of the GoodieCo oils. So I have seen this on Facebook so many times and I just kept like not clicking it because I knew it was going to be a little bit pricey. After looking at it, I was like, oh, do I really need this? But my skin has been so dry lately that I figured this would probably be the perfect thing for it to get some really nourishing oils like back in my skin. So I bit the bullet, I bought the product. After looking at all the reviews, a lot of people said it helps clear up their acne, it helps like just make their skin feel so nice and plump, and a lot of people said that they didn't need to wear foundation afterwards. So I went ahead and bought it and I got it in recently, so I figured I would do a review today. So if that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned and I'll be right back. So if you're not familiar with GoodieCo, this is an Australian-based brand that is supposed to be really all natural, and they source things locally in Australia from extracts and things that are found there in Australia. So when you open up the package, it has a little card that just tells you a little bit about it, and I did buy the Nourishing Trio. So it comes with a cleansing oil, a nourishing oil, and then like a serum to wear. So this is like supposed to be the whole skincare routine right here. And so here's a little card with some instructions on it so you can kind of tell how to use each thing. And so basically when you get the 3 oils, this is what they look like. This is their little packaging. And so the first one is the Next Level Kunzi Cleansing Oil, and this is supposed to be a product that you use to take off your makeup and stuff and cleanse your face. The next product is called the Layer Once Blue Cypress Nourishing Oil, and then lastly this is the Rose Dream Serum Kakadu, I don't know how to say it, Kakadu Plum Rose Serum. So I think you just layer these oils, and the girl in the Instagram video that was using this has beautiful skin. I don't know if she uses this or not, but on a regular basis, but it looked gorgeous when she was trying it, so it looked like it really worked well. So I am going to use this today and to take off my makeup and layer, and I'm going to try it over the next 30 days to give it a try and see how it does. So I'm going to just do a few check-ins across the next month or so to just show you guys how it's working and see if it clears up any of my acne. Once I use the cleansing oil, you'll be able to tell that I have a lot of acne and a lot of breakouts, so I definitely need some help. They said that because your skin is kind of purging and cleansing itself, you could see more acne pop up when you start to use this, as it's getting like all the impurities out from deeper in your skin and bring them to the surface. But after that clears up, it should be softer and like smoother and like just kind of really glowy and beautiful. So we shall see. I will be the judge of that because I've tried a lot of products and a lot of creams and a lot of things, and my skin is just the way it is, I think, from hormones, but we'll see if this can help out, and we'll go from there. So let's start with the cleansing oil. I've got my warm cloth here, and I'm just gonna start with a couple drops, like it says, 2 to 4 drops into damp palms, and so I've got my palms kind of wet here, and I'm opening it up, and it smells like rose, maybe, even though it's not the rose product. Yeah, it kind of has like a, essential oil smell to it, and I'm just gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4 drops into my palm, and then it says apply to your face for 30 to 60 seconds. Okay, now we take our cloth. I wore bright makeup today on purpose so that I could demonstrate this. All right, then we take our cloth and wipe it all away. I feel like I did a pretty good job of taking most of it off, but I think maybe I just need like another round, like another couple drops. And it was hard to do in my palms, like when it's in my palms rather than my fingertips, to get like, to put your, like rub your palms in your face. So I'm just gonna do another one with just my fingertips here. There we go. That's getting in there. I don't think you're supposed to like have to use the towel to do the heavy lifting. The oil is really supposed to do that for you. So right away, I'm thinking it does an okay job with, but I feel like maybe there's some stuff there that you kind of still have to work off. Now it's not really wanting to get off some of the lash glue, but I think that's okay because that usually takes a special makeup remover anyway to get off, so that makes sense. So the lash glue was being a little more stubborn, but for the most part, I think it did really well in taking off my makeup. Maybe just not from the harder to reach spots like the cracks of my lips and things like that, and then like I said, the lash glue, but that's done a pretty good job, I think, of cleaning. Let me get a makeup wipe and I'll see how well it did, if there's anything left over. All right, so let's see what we got here. So actually there is some left over. You can see there's like actually some decent amount of stuff left on the makeup wipe. It does look like it's got some, some residue. So maybe if I took longer with this oil to really get it in there a little bit better than just kind of the quick job that I did, it might work. But this certainly got off a lot more, I'd say. a lot more of the makeup than the Nourishing Oil did alone. So, you know, there is that. So let me wipe off this residue from the makeup wipe. Okay, this is the Nourish layer. And so this is the Blue Cypress Nourishing Oil. And I'm going to, it says apply 1 to 2 drops to the palm of your hand, work briskly to warm the oil up, and then gently press the palms into the face. I don't understand what this palm thing is, like why I need to like do it with my palms. It's hard to, I'd rather do it with my fingertips, but all right, I just did a couple drops there like it said. It says briskly work it into your palms for when the oil, and then gently press into the face. Skin should be damp, which it is from my little cloth. And then it says this oil should soak into the skin after 30 to 60 seconds. So if applying, if the face feels too oily, then you're using too much, then just use 1 drop. So it's kind of supposed to sink in and not really leave you feeling very greasy. It's a very light oil. And this one smells really good. Blue Cypress, I guess it's cypress that I'm smelling. Smells pretty good. So that's the second step. And then after that's soaked in, we'll move on to the third, which is the Dream Serum. And this one says to pat 2 drops onto the skin after your treatment oil has soaked in. It works great under your makeup as a primer, and it also serves as an all-purpose, such as hydrating serum. So I think this is like your moisturizer. This one's a little thicker. This one doesn't really have as much of a smell, but maybe my nose is just used to all these scents now. Yeah, it doesn't have as much of a smell. It's kind of light. This one is thicker. It's not like a thin oil like the others were. The others were more of a consistency of like a, I don't know, like a true, like almost like a vegetable oil or canola oil or something like that. But this one is thicker. It's more of a gel. I don't know if you can kind of see through the thing. It's when I tip it upside down, it's like not really even going very, doesn't go very quickly towards the surface. So it's more of a gel, like moisturizer maybe. So it says 2 drops. Oh gosh, yeah, see it's like a very like, it's a serum. It's like a very gel-like serum. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. It's almost like the consistency of like aloe vera maybe, like that kind of a sticky sort of substance, but it should be good as a hydrating primer as well, like it says. So when it goes on really slick and it starts to get more tacky as you press it into the skin. So this actually dried really nicely. My face does not feel oily. It feels hydrated and smooth, but not oily at all. So that's great. It feels very nice, and yeah. All right, so that's the routine for day 1. I'll do some check-ins periodically just to see how it's going, and we will see if it can clear up all this acne and redness in my face. Okay guys, it has been 1 month. It's actually been over a month because I didn't get around to filming this for like maybe a month and a week. So it's been a little over the month, and I have just run out of some of the product. And so it actually did last more than a month, which is great. But I'm here for my experience and kind of final thoughts on what I think about the products. So let's take it one by one and start with the cleansing oil. So step 1 was the cleansing oil. I did not like this as a cleansing oil. I didn't feel like it did a good job getting my makeup off, and you could kind of tell in the beginning where I was trying to take the makeup off and it really didn't take a lot, and I had to kind of scrub and scrub with the washcloth to get it off. And then I still, I went in with more, like I did this a few times. Every time I wore makeup, I would try this as a first step in the cleanse, and it was never like able to take off all of it. So I always left residue, and I always had to go back and like test and see with a makeup wipe or some toner on a cotton pad, and there was always like a lot of makeup left. So this did not really work for me. I think maybe as a first step in a double cleanse, maybe it could work, but I have a lot of other products that I like for a double cleanse process, and this just wasn't one of them. So I'd prefer a cleansing balm to this, or if I was going to use an oil, I like the Belief brand better than this one. So this just did not really do a good job of breaking it down for me. So I would say that is a no-go. Next up was the Blue Cypress Nourishing Oil. This is step 2 in the process, and this is the one that I enjoyed. I thought it was good. So I have no complaints against this one. The smell was good. It felt very nice on. It was actually kind of a dry oil, if that makes sense. I kind of felt like when I was using this, my skin was still dry, like especially in the beginning when I was first starting this out, like the whole first week. my skin was still dry like the whole time. And I was like, how is it possibly dry? I'm literally putting like oil, like layering oils on, but my skin was just so thirsty. Maybe it just kind of sucked everything up. After about the second or third week, my skin really kind of was, you know, better. Like it felt more hydrated and more, it felt less dry. But then there would be times maybe like the last week where it went back to feeling dry again. So oddly enough, even with these oils on, my skin still felt dry, which I thought was strange. So, you know, most of the time it felt okay, but sometimes it really did just kind of feel dry in certain spots. Then I would be like, man, why does my skin feel so dry? Like I'm putting oil on it. So, but the Blue Cypress Nourishing Oil was pretty good. I liked it. I thought it was great, and no complaints on that one. The last one was the Rose Dream Serum, and I did like this one. This is probably my favorite out of the three. I really liked that this was not straight oil. It was actually like a water-based, kind of more of a gel, and I really did like this one. I felt like it added something to the routine that wasn't just oil. And in fact, this is the one I ran out of first. So I ran out of this first, and then I ran out of the Blue Cypress, and then as you can see, I still have the Kunze cleansing oil left. So I didn't really wear makeup that often, so I didn't really feel the need to like super cleanse with this. So as a set, I think it was okay. I think it was pretty good, but like I said, I maybe liked a couple of the individual oils, and I just still felt like sometimes my skin was dry, which I thought was really strange for putting straight oil on your face. So, but as a set, just kind of taking the whole routine collectively, I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed, you know, just the act of putting it on. It felt nice to go on. I will say that you have to use more than the package says, and so this packaging, it said apply like 3 or 4 drops or 2 to 4 drops, and that was just not enough to cover my whole face. And so I was noticing that the people who were in the videos putting this on, they used a lot more. When I went back and rewatched the video of the influencers putting it on, they used like a whole dropper full instead of just a couple drops. So once I did that, it was a little bit better, and I think that's why my product lasted a little bit longer than a month, because I was like really trying to follow the directions and just use like 2 to 4 drops, like very sparingly, and it wouldn't get my whole face. And so I'm like, oh man, this isn't really enough. So I did up the amount of drops that I used, and it worked a lot better, you know, just coverage wise, but I think the result was still the same. So like I said, I like a couple of these individually, like the last two. I would not go for the cleansing oil at all. I might repurchase, you know, 1 or 2 of these oils just because I like the way they feel, you know, the middle two. But as a set, I just feel like my skin was still left dry, feeling dry a lot of times, and this was the set that was specifically for dry skin and not for oily skin. So I thought that was kind of interesting that I just felt, you know, still dry. So maybe I needed to apply it a 3rd time throughout the day. As far as what I did otherwise throughout the test period, throughout the month, I just exfoliated once a week to make sure that it wasn't like exfoliating too often and making my skin overly dry and stripped. And then I did do sunscreen occasionally, like when I was going outside, but not very often, and that was it. I didn't use any masks, I didn't use anything else. I really just wanted to give this product a try by itself and see how it did with almost nothing else on. So just the sunscreen maybe a few times throughout the month when I was going outside, but I don't go outside very much, so as you can see, I'm very pale. So when it comes to the claim that it made, it was supposed to be for dry skin and, you know, hydrating dry skin, and it was supposed to give you kind of like that glass skin look, and it was supposed to calm down redness, and it was supposed to calm acne. That was specifically kind of some of the claims that it was making. So let me zoom in and we'll talk about those. All right, so you're pretty close now, but this is what my skin looks like now after the whole month, and I didn't take a before shot of my face beforehand, but I can just grab a screenshot from the video that footage that I shot at the beginning of the month. I do feel like some of my spots are gone. Some of the bigger ones are gone, but I kind of feel like that could have been because it's been a month, you know, like it's been time, it's, you know, time has passed and it's healed. I still have some redness here, and I still have just a couple spots here. These are more like acne scars maybe that are just kind of fading, some older spots, and I do have some newer spots that popped up here. So these two popped up, and then here, but I kind of feel like my skin is clearer. So I could definitely make the claim that I could see how it's clearer, but I don't know if it was just time that did it or if it was these products. And I don't know if I continued to use these alone for like another month, if it would be dramatically different. What I will say is my skin switched to kind of feeling dry and maybe inflamed to like dry and clogged in some spots. Like I usually do not get a lot of acne in here, and I was getting like little watery clogged pores, like little kind of watery acne. It's hard to describe. You can get like just like that watery kind of acne through here where the pores are larger, and I generally don't get them here. I get redness here, but generally not pimples. And so I did get a few pimples here, and they weren't very big. They were not like huge pimples. They were just like tiny little whiteheads maybe. And I got a lot of sebaceous filaments, and so I got a lot of the sebaceous filaments and clogged pores along some of the bigger pores in my chin. So I kind of felt like the oil was maybe clogging some of the larger pores, but it did cleanse, I thought, or did a good job of maybe clearing up some of the larger acne. So I'll zoom back out. So you guys can kind of be the judge and tell me if you think it looks any clearer, but to me, I feel like I did a okay job, and it did, you know, my skin looks, you know, fine. It doesn't look great. It certainly doesn't look like glass skin, and it doesn't really feel overly hydrated. It actually still feels dry. So for me, I think for the price point for these did not quite live up to the claims that I, you know, was hoping they would. I think maybe if you already have good skin, or maybe if you have oily skin already, and these would do well for you, or if you just didn't have a lot of acne to clear up, they might do well for you. But, or maybe they just take more time than, you know, 5 weeks to test out, but I feel like these were a miss in my book, and they were not something that I would spend this much money on again, just, you know, just because I still have acne and redness and clogged pores and dry skin, so they didn't really seem to do, you know, didn't really seem to make my skin like fresh and glowy and dewy and, you know, just hydrated. So those are my final thoughts. Would love to hear what you guys think about the product if you've tried it, and anything else you want me to try, put it down in the comments below. I'd be happy to be your guinea pig and test it out. So that's it for now. I'll see you next time for the next review. Bye guys.